I'm going to ask you some questions about your life. Let's start with your name, your full name, and your birthday, and where you were born.
Okay, Joyce Ann Rayfield Horne. And what was the other question? I was born
Your birthday.
August 18th, 1936,
Okay. And where were you born?
in Bessemer City, Tennessee.
I don't think I knew that. Okay. Okay, so actually, let's start with your parents' names and where they're from, like their nationality, so I know where you got that great skin.
My dad was born, they lived out in the country somewhere in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Guy Robert Rayfield. And my mama was born in the mountains near Silva. And her name is Selma Jane Thompson Rayfield.
Oh, okay. Very good. And you have siblings?
Yes, I have a brother that's 3 years younger than me, and a sister that's 5 years younger than me.
Both
And
living?
Both living.
Perfect. Do they live near you?
No, my sister Judy lives in Lowell, North Carolina, and my brother lives in Belmont. His name is Alfred.
Okay.
He was the
Belmont's not
family
too far.
pet.
What does that mean?
That means he got by with everything because he was a boy.
Oh, I see. He got the free pass.
Yes.
Okay. So, what are some of your earliest memories? Is that some stuff that you've written down? Was that about that? I don't want to double up.
Well, that was one of the first you told me to be sure and put in this because that was when my mother was pregnant.
And she threw the rocks at you?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me that story
Okay.
on tape. That's
Well,
great.
My mother was, I call her Mama. My mama was pregnant with my brother, and she was near term. And I don't know if it's an accident in my pants or deliberately in my pants, but I crawled under the house because I knew I was in trouble. And she couldn't get under, so she had to throw rocks at me to get me out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So then your sister came along after that,
Yes.
right?
uh-huh.
Okay.
She was born in McAdenville. My brother and I were born in Bessemer City, but they moved to McAdenville.
Okay.
It's where we lived till married.
Uh-huh. Did you all three get along well growing up?
So.
Sometimes?
No, we didn't, but we love each other now.
Oh.
No, we were like, most siblings, we would fight and argue, and we were obnoxious to each other sometimes. But we are very close now.
Mm-hmm. Do they have kids too?
My sister has one boy,
Okay.
and my brother had 2 boys. My mother never had a granddaughter. They were all grandsons.
Oh, yes. That's
We were
right.
always kidding her because she wouldn't be grandma before she's 40. But anyway, we told her we raised her pallbearers. 6 boys.
Oh, gosh. Did you think that was funny?
We did, all
She
of
did.
us. Yeah. Never had to worry about who's going to be with pallbearers.
Oh, my gosh. What kind of work did your dad do?
He worked in the mill
Mhm.
at McAdenville.
Okay.
We lived on a mill village.
Well, Ralph talked a lot about that too,
Mm-hmm.
living on Millville. I never heard that term before.
Well, it's like McAdenville. The man that owned the mill just owned McAdenville almost, and they rented houses to the people who worked at the mill.
Right.
And so we just were in what we call a village.
Mm-hmm.
And my mama also worked in the mill.
Okay. So she did work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a close-knit community because we went to school from the 1st through the 8th grade in one school. And then when we passed 8th grade, we went into consolidated high school, and that's the first time I knew I was poor. Because when you live with people that have the same thing you have or
Right.
don't have, and then you get mixed in all these other people that, did live in mill villages and everything, you realized.
Wow, that's interesting.
But, we enjoyed our life.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes. Simpler times, actually. Were you raised religious? Any
Yes.
particular religion?
We went to this small, it's a non-denominational church called Wesleyan Methodist,
Okay.
and they were very strict.
Do you still practice that today?
I go to First Baptist in Rockwell, near where I live in Grant Quarry, but yeah, I practice the same thing. It's just that we can wear jewelry now. And they can too now.
Right,
But
right.
when I was going to that church, you couldn't wear jewelry. You had to wear long sleeves and couldn't go to movies or anything fun.
Sounds worse than Mormons.
I used to think I would like to be a Baptist because they can sin and have more fun. Because
That's
it was very strict upbringing.
Wow, that is strict. So what was some of your favorite hobbies and parts of school that you liked, things you were good at?
I didn't really have any hobbies, but loved reading. And we had this one library in McAdenville that we got all the Outcast books. But I think my sister and I read just about all of them.
Wow.
Because we both love to read.
Do you still read a lot now?
Yes. Hmm.
What's your favorite kind of books to read?
I like, this is weird, but I like when they had to travel by wagon trains, go to different parts of the country.
Uh-huh.
And I just love things like that, trying to picture how they must have survived to do that.
Right, right.
So I love that.
Good.
And I have read some trashy books too.
Did you read 50 Shades of Grey?
No, I drew the line there.
I didn't read it either. No thanks.
I drew the line.
Oh my gosh. Did you have any favorite music growing up?
Well, at first it was country music because that's the only thing Daddy listened to on the radio.
Okay.
And then I branched out. I love the 50s music, and I like this is awful, doo-wop music. Do you know what that is?
I would
It's-
call 50s music doo-wop music. It's not the same thing?
Well, some of it, and then I love the type of music, the Platters and people like that.
Oh, yeah.
But they had some people that would sing these songs, and I don't know how it called doo-wop, but it's a bouncy type of stuff.
Maybe that's
And-
more 60s.
Probably so. And I love, all the old songs like Harbor Lights and Melody of Love, and you have never heard this.
I might know them if I heard them. I don't
Yeah.
know them by
Mhm.
name, but
Mhm.
I know a lot of music. So
Yeah.
I might recognize it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to put some music on your video.
Oh,
So you want to put some songs that mean something to you. Like did you have a song at your wedding or a
No,
song that meant something to you at a certain point in your life?
well, right now I can't think.
Okay. Well, you named a few.
Yeah.
So we'll look
Mhm.
if something
Mhm.
comes to you.
Lisbon, Antigua. It was strange because it's mostly music and not singing.
Oh, okay.
I prefer, just music.
Instrumental?
Instrumentals word.
Oh,
Mhm.
very good.
And you can go anywhere from 30s to the 80s with that.
Yeah.
So,
Do you remember learning how to drive?
yes, I was married and pregnant.
Oh, really? So Ralph taught you how to drive?
No, I actually had a driving instructor because I was, about 25.
Okay.
And never did learn the parallel park. I flung getting my license first time because I knocked the cones over. And so I put lawn chairs out front of the house, and then I learned to parallel park between those, and then I went to get my license.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's good. And now you're driving?
Oh, I am a driver.
That's
I
good.
am the chauffeur.
That's right. Let's see. Did you have any teachers that made a special impact on you that you remember?
I had one that got pregnant every time I got her as a classroom teacher. She never finished a year.
Oh, really?
But I don't remember too much about my teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And I made good grades in school,
Mm-hmm.
and I was lucky there.
Did you have one subject that you liked more than others? Probably reading, right?
Mhm. Yeah, literature.
Yeah. Me too. I like reading. How about pets? Did you have pets growing up?
We had a couple dogs that didn't have names that just hung there.
Mm.
But then we had our special one that we called Snowball. He was so white and beautiful.
Mm.
That he was real sweet. And we loved cats. But we didn't name cats.
Yeah, they were just everywhere, right? How about favorite foods? Were you a picky eater or try about anything?
I was strictly a meat and potatoes girl. I didn't venture out far. Mom and Daddy,
Mhm.
we just had what come out of the garden and everything. And so, and tomatoes is my favorite.
So you always had a garden?
Mom and Daddy. Yeah.
Did you always have a garden yourself?
We had one
Mm.
when we lived in Salisbury.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Only once, huh?
yeah, Ralph decided he would
It's a lot
never
of
be a
work.
farmer.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see. So, did you have a job growing up?
I babysat a lot.
Mm.
And then the summer that I was 15, I worked in a gift shop at McAdenville. We didn't have much business, but if we had a baby shower or a marriage, they would come, and then I would have to wrap the gifts and everything. And I really enjoyed it
Uh-huh.
because I would go out on the little porch they had
Mhm.
and sit in a chair and wave at the bus drivers.
Were you flirting?
I know. No, I was too young
Just
to
being
flirt.
friendly.
And then the summer I was 16, I worked in the mill during the summer. And I found out I really didn't care for mill work.
Okay. So, when you had your children, did you stay home with them, or is that when you started working for was it an insurance company?
Well, I started working with the insurance company when right before Ralph and I got married.
Oh, okay.
And then that was in Gastonia.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved to Salisbury, and that's when I started having my children.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was able to stay home with the first two.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Chris was 2 years old, they called me from the last place I worked till I retired, and said I could set my hours.
Nice.
And so I would work when Ralph was home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stayed with that same company for 35 years.
Wow. Full time.
Mhm.
Wow, that's great.
Just retired 4 years ago.
Gosh. Mm. How about holiday traditions? Do you remember any special traditions your family did for holidays?
Well, on Christmas Eve, we had this special family that come to our house, and the bringer of gifts. The kids just knew when Ace and Dean Moon come, they had gifts. And they come every year till they died. They missed 1 year, Christmas
Really?
Eve, and they went to California to visit their son. And she told her son, said, "This is the most miserable Christmas I've ever had. I will never, ever miss going to Joyce and Ralph's house."
Aww.
And
Wow.
then on Christmas morning, we would get up, the kids would open their gifts, and then we'd have breakfast, and then we would drive to Gastonia. Well, when my mom and dad lived in McAdenville, we went to McAdenville first, and then to Bessemer City to Ralph's mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it was special. And we never really celebrated Thanksgiving that much growing up because Mom and Daddy never had Thanksgiving at all. So we would, make up for it on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Wow, they didn't have Thanksgiving off?
no.
Did they have Christmas off?
Had 2 weeks for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, 1 week. They had 1 week in July and
Oh,
1 week
okay.
at Christmas.
So they had 2 weeks vacation,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
you had to take it when the mill shut down.
Wow.
So everybody took a vacation same time.
Right. That must have been before unions, huh? Was there a union then?
They had unions, and I won't go into too much detail, but that's in Gastonia's where they had this problem with unions. And you remember the story about Normal Ray?
Mhm.
Okay, that's where that took place. But now McAdenville, no union.
Oh,
No
okay.
union.
Wow. Interesting. Let's see. Any favorite movies? Movie stars?
I mean, I hate to admit this, but Pretty Woman. I know, I love that movie.
Yeah,
I watch it every time it comes on.
I like it too.
Mhm.
It is a good
And
movie.
then I like The Notebook. And
That- I
oh,
never-
another one I loved was 9 to 5.
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
one with
yeah.
Dolly Parton.
Mhm.
Mhm. That's a really good
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. So when did you meet Ralph?
Okay. I was in the 12th grade, and my best friend, Frankie Hall, and I went to a movie. We had to ride the bus, because
Mhm.
that's how you did in McAdenville. Most people didn't have a car, so we rode buses. So we went to this movie, and after the movie, we walked across the street to this little restaurant, and we're sitting there having pie. And this head cut over my shoulder. Said, "That pie looks good." And that was Ralph. And we chatted. He had a friend with him, and we chatted. And he found out that we rode the bus. They offered to take us home.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked me for a date, and I said yes, but I really wasn't interested. And so it took a while.
He won you over.
He won me over because, and I was ashamed to tell my friends how old he was. I was 17, and he was 24.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't matter now, but back then,
Right.
that was a big
That
difference.
was. Mm-hmm.
And so we dated 3 years, and then we got married November 17th, 1956. And we're coming up on our 59th anniversary in November.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
we've been together almost 62 years.
Did you date anybody else before him?
Yeah.
Did you?
Mhm. As much as I could. My dad was pretty strict, and he
Right.
could wear a uniform. He would not let me date anybody in uniform.
Oh.
Love them and leave them. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, Daddy come from the old school.
Mm-hmm. Did your parents have a good relationship?
Mhm.
Do you remember them being,
Yeah, they did everything together. They
Mm.
both worked. Daddy was in the kitchen with Mama when she was cooking. And anywhere one went, the other one was, if they weren't in that room in the next 5 minutes, they go look for them.
Really?
Yeah, they really. Of course, I always said my mother sort of ruled the roost. But anyway, they worked it out, and they're almost inseparable in death because Mama died on like April the 7th, and Daddy died April the 11th, the same month.
Same year?
Mhm.
4 days later?
4 days later.
Oh
They
my
couldn't
gosh.
separate, and the doctor wrote us the nicest letter, said that Guy set out to do what he meant to do, was to take care of Mama, because she had dementia.
Mm.
So it was a rough life for him in the end with her.
Right.
But,
Wow. What year did they pass?
I have to think back, Lauren, my granddaughter, she's 15. It's been 14 years ago.
Okay.
It's when Peggy died,
Okay.
because she died 2 weeks later.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, so now you can talk about your kids.
Okay.
And,
But now Brian Keith was our first baby.
okay.
And so the doctor told us if we wanted to say that name, he said we could. But I said, no, that's his name.
Right.
And Ralph probably told you he had a dream about a Joe. And so he's what named Joey. Excuse me. And we both named Eric, and I wanted to put Neil in there.
Mhm.
That's Ralph's middle name.
Right.
And so I named Chris, and he hates me to this day. I named him Christopher Carroll. And I made the mistake of telling him I named him after Chris and Carol. He thought that was horrible.
Really?
So I told him I had a boyfriend named Carol too.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I'm still not clear about this dream.
Ralph had a dream about this young boy,
Right.
and his name was Joe. And it was so vivid to him that when he found out I was pregnant again,
Mm-hmm.
he said if his boy, we want to name him Joe, but we named him Joseph Gregory.
Gregory, I never knew that. Joseph Gregory. Christopher Carroll
Eric Neal.
and Eric Neal. All right.
Joseph Gregory. Joey never gets called by his full name now, but when he was little, Joseph Gregory Horne, you better get it.
Yeah, right. He knew he was in trouble if
Yeah.
he called his full name. I've never called him Joe.
Well, I haven't either, it's Joey.
Always Joey, yeah. So what would you say is the best invention you've seen in your lifetime?
Dishwasher, washing machine and dryer. But they weren't invented, but they were, the modern was.
Right.
Went from wash tubs to a wringer type washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got more modern. But, I think I would say the dishwasher.
Dishwasher.
I guess what comes in second is the microwave.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yep, that's very good.
There's been a lot of things come along in my lifetime. So,
And it's moving really fast now. So what are some of your favorite memories?
memories.
Or people? You could say it that way, like who are some of your favorite people in your life? Friends, people you've known forever, that kind of thing. If you want to talk about them.
Okay, Frankie Hall was my best friend growing up. And then my aunts were my favorite people, my mama's sisters.
Oh, okay.
And they were so different from my mom that, it was just fun to be around them.
Right.
Mama thought she was an old woman when she was 30.
She did.
So,
Were her sisters younger than her?
no, one was older and one was
Okay.
younger.
Mhm.
But they had more life in them. Mama was sort of
She's a middle
like-
child, I guess. Then, huh?
Mama said she was, she didn't call herself a slave, but she had to work in the fields growing up. She said let's see, what was her word for it? She wasn't born to be a girl, she was born to be a farmer's helper. So
That's what she said.
she loved rainy days. Anything to get out of going into the garden.
Oh.
But they had to depend on the kids to help.
Right. Interesting. Any other people?
There was an older woman at our church, Martha Jane Huffstetter. She just made everybody feel so special. And she loved on me, and that meant a lot.
Yeah.
Mama and Daddy didn't show that much affection as we were growing up. But as we got older, we learned to tell them how much we loved them, and they started telling us. They just didn't know how to
Right.
get into it. And so I made sure that my boys, I tell them how much I love them.
Yeah.
But Martha Jane, she would just hug me, and she'd give me pretty handkerchiefs, and she'd show me how to put a coin in the corner and tie it. Then I didn't need to carry a pocketbook to church.
Huh?
I would just take that out of my handkerchief, the money. So
Mhm.
that was special when I was little.
That's cute. Aw. Anybody else?
Well, there's been a number, but I guess Ace and Dean Moon, the ones that come every Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve was never the same after they died.
Yeah.
So they were very special. And the gift giving stopped. We put a stop to it, made it easy for everybody. But the boys still couldn't wait to Ace. They called them Hasten-Dean. They, instead of Ace and Dean, they Hasten-Dean. Made one word.
Right. Oh. So you want to tell me about your grandkids?
Well, they're the only grandkids in the world. And we were real close because Chris was not able to take care of them by himself. And so when Christy worked, I was over there. So
Do they have sporting events or anything that you get to go see and watch them?
Tyler had ball games and things, and everything he's had, we attend.
Okay.
So
Well, that's good. So Lauren's the oldest,
yeah,
right?
she's 15. Wow. And Tyler's 11, and Emily's 9.
Wow.
And she's a monkey.
Gosh, I can't believe they're so old.
She's 9 going on 18.
Yeah.
So
Wow, and I hear Tyler's the one that's brilliant, right?
they're old. And she homeschools them now, so I don't get to keep up with what goes on.
Oh, okay.
So
She
they're
homeschools
smart.
them and works full time
And
and
takes
has 2 other children?
Mhm.
Wow. How did you fare with Ralph's side of the family?
Really pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Well, that's good.
And I miss Marion the most.
Really.
Yeah.
I remember her.
Oh, she was.
I'm surprised because I was very young.
Yeah.
But I really remember her.
Well, I don't think my boys actually remember her too much either.
Yeah.
But
But I remember her vividly. She must have been that awesome. Because I know I was only at her house a few times, but
she never sat down.
Really?
She was always moving. And I got along better with Ralph's mother than I did my own.
Oh, really?
But she was a great mother-in-law.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Did your parents get along with Ralph?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. You guys were lucky that way.
I told you Mama had dementia. And Ralph would come in and go there and hug her and kiss her. And then he'd walk to the kitchen and see what was cooking. And she'd say, "Who was that?"
Ah! Did she definitely have dementia and not Alzheimer's, or
I
they
don't
don't
know the difference.
No, okay.
I can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
But whatever she said in the morning, that went on all day long.
But she always knew you?
Until toward the end.
Well, that's good.
And I don't know if she actually had Alzheimer's because, well, now, if Daddy wouldn't put the food on the table, she probably wouldn't have eaten. Because she couldn't remember whether she'd had food or not. But she wasn't bad enough to actually be in a nursing home.
So he was able to care for her
Yeah.
until the end. That's really good.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that is really good.
It
Mm.
got where, she couldn't be left alone. He had to go to the grocery store one day. He's gone about half an hour and he come back, and Mama's at the service station next door cleaning up their lot and everything.
Oh my God.
Picking up all the trash.
Really? And they still lived in the same place
Mhm.
their whole life?
No, no. When they retired from the mill, see, they didn't own the house.
Oh, you're not allowed to own it, right?
No,
You just rent?
it belonged to the company.
Oh, wow.
And so they had to buy a place in Gastonia.
But did you live for free on the mill?
It was cheap enough that it was
Okay.
almost free.
So
And we didn't have to pay for water, electricity, or anything.
Okay. So then
we-
they bought a house in Gastonia?
Mhm. And so they lived there.
Hmm.
They retired, I think, about 60, when they were about 62 or 65.
Mhm.
So they lived there 20-some years. So,
Wow. That's good. Well, do you have any, let's see, we already talked about your religion. Do you have any political beliefs? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you feel strongly about?
well, I'm unaffiliated.
Mm-hmm. It's a good way to be.
Good way to be. But I actually go more Democratic
Yeah.
because they seem to help more people.
Yeah.
Ralph and I, we actually haven't argued that much in our married life. And we used to say when if we divorced, that he would take the kids, and I argued that I would. And then we lived together a little longer, and we said, "You can have the kids if you divorce."
Right. Well, you made it.
We made it.
Mm. That says a lot.
My brother and sister, both have also been married over 50 years.
Really? Very good. Everybody must have picked well.
Either that or we thought we couldn't get divorced.
Or you're all three very good at giving in.
Probably so.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you better have a good relationship going through life, because when it gets close, where both of you get sick, you better have something there to fall back on,
Right.
because you couldn't take it if you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So when things get rough, I think of the days when everything was rosy and happy and young,
Yeah.
to help get through the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. What are you most thankful for?
Oh, life, health,
Mm-hmm.
my kids, and my grandkids, my hubby.
Mm-hmm.
I can still say that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm
Wow.
thankful that we're not nowhere near rich, but we're nowhere near poor. And we don't really have to, worry like some retired people have to. So we're thankful.
Well, anything else you want to say?
Don't have to worry about dying young.
That's. Well, you know what? You still look way too young. So
Oh,
I think you
thank
got a
you.
ways
I
to
love being
go.
around you.
You do. How do you do that?
I don't.
So I'll ask you, do you use anything special on your face?
I use Pond's moisturizer.
Pond's.
But I use Duff's hand soap, or soap on
Like
my
the bar
face.
soap?
The bar
Mhm.
soap on my face.
Yeah. Wow, you did really
Does it
well.
work?
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know, maybe it's just in your genes. Does your sister look really young too?
Uh-huh.
Really? Oh, it's your genes.
Her son told her, said, "Mama, how come you don't look like the rest of the old women?"
I know.
She's so pretty. She's got big, beautiful brown eyes, and her hair's the color of mine.
Uh-huh.
And we're about the same size.
Wow, well, I'll see pictures when you find the pictures,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
And I'll get to see, good. That's good.
So I go home searching.
Okay, and help him search too.
Okay.
You get to do double
Well,
duty.
we'll be going through the pictures together.
There you go, and give you something to do, right? You can go down memory lane that way too.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
That's always
I
fun.
just hate he can't see the pictures
I
now.
know. I'm surprised he can see as much as he can.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't think he could even see that much.
Well, he can see so much out of the outer edges,
Okay,
but like he will see you, but he won't see your face.
right.
So,
That's
and-
gotta be so hard for him.
And it's hard to pour into a cup.
As you said.
Oh, dear.
Well, then you have to stick around to take care of him.
Plan on it.
Mhm.
Plan on it. We argue who should go first. I say, you can't go first. You can't go first. Leave all this to me. They talk about the house and all the junk. And so I dare him to leave me. But
Mhm. Wow,
we're grateful for every day.
yes.
Was during the late 40s and early 50s during the polio epidemic.
Oh.
Oh, it was so scary. We could not get on public transportation. We had to stick to our own neighborhoods. We didn't go to church. And it was during the summer, so we didn't have to worry about school.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people were getting it.
Wow.
And in Gastonia, they had this orthopedic hospital that they were sending people from all over the state to there because some of them had to be in iron lungs
Oh,
just
yeah.
to breathe. And parents were scared to death, children were scared to death. And we felt like we were just stuck.
Right.
We didn't play with other kids in our neighborhood.
Wow.
So,
How long did it take them to come up with a vaccine? Do you remember?
now, ask the question again.
How long did it take for
It
them to
wasn't
come up?
long till
Yeah.
Salk came out with a vaccine. I don't know his first name, Dr. Salk,
Mhm.
S-A-L-K.
Mm-hmm.
And when we moved to Granite Quarry, we lived just below the school. We took the boys up there and they were giving out little sugar cubes
Mhm.
with a vaccine in it.
Right.
And so, got through that.
Wow.
So we-
Mm. Do you remember the smallpox vaccine?
Yeah.
Isn't that the mark we all had?
Yeah, big old sore, and they, you would put a little plastic shield on it so you wouldn't pull the scab off.
Ah, yeah.
So,
They don't do that anymore.
now, I think it might be mixed in with
I
another
think it
type
is.
of vaccination.
Mm.
So, we were arguing downstairs when toilet paper was invented.
That's because Dawn and Joey were talking about that.
And it was 1893, I think, when it was invented. Joey got on the computer.
Googled it?
Yeah.
That's one of the best inventions.
Yes. I was so used to that, I never thought of that.
Right.
That was invented
That's what Mama
before me.
Horne said, right? He asked her that. She said toilet paper.
Oh.
That's why that came up, because
I
we were
wonder
talking
what they
about it
used
earlier.
before that.
He said the Sears and Roebuck's catalog.
Well, something was said down there to Dawn about corn husk.
Oh. Maybe.
I hope that's not in there.
I'm glad I live now.
It is. Ask me about what do I remember about World War II?
Yes. What do you remember about World War II?
Okay, it didn't mean as much to me as a child, but we had to do blackouts. That means when the siren from the mill went off, you turned out all lights, pulled your shades in case a plane would fly over. They didn't want no lights showing. and Mama was making me a dress for my first day at school the next day, and so that siren went off. And we'd done all the lights, and she had a little flashlight. She got down in the floor, and she was hand sewing my dress.
Wow.
And so she finished it that night by flashlight. And I can remember the day the war ended, the whole town erupted, and car horns blowing, people shouting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, and also they had to do some rationing. And you had to have stamps to buy sugar and different things like that, cigarettes. Mama pretended to smoke so she could get Daddy extra cigarettes. And everybody's supposed to plant a victory garden, grow our own food. And so people that had enough, land could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but like I say, I was really too young to know, and I was actually grown when I found out what happened in Germany about the Jews. I did not know about that.
Mm.
And I don't think most people did, because it was later that we got TVs and things like that.
Right.
So,
So you probably just knew that the Japanese attacked us.
yeah, Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
Pearl Harbor.
Wow. So tell me, Joyce, have you lived a good life?
I have lived a good, long life,
Wonderful.
and I plan to continue.
And
I don't know if it'd be good, but I'm talking about me being a good person. I'm not going to go wild.
Wow. Not only are you a good person, but you have your health, you have your mind, you have so many things that other people don't have.
And I
We
appreciate
all
that.
aspire to be
Yeah, I appreciate that.
what you are, really. That's
And I think going to my church keeps me on my feet
Mhm.
and keeps me grounded. Bye-bye.